Hello everyone, hello, welcome in today's live. I want to welcome everyone who is joining the community, all the new followers. I am really grateful that so many of you are joining this space of holistic well-being, of conscious movement and neuroshaping, where you get to discover yourself through conscious movement. This is absolutely transformative and life-changing journey that you are embarking on, and I am really honored to welcome you here. And for all of you that are going to join today's live, I want to explore the topic of grace. So every week we are exploring, in this open free live, we are exploring one of the topics that are helping us to dive deeper into the qualities of movement and understand better the connection on how we move. How does it affect the quality of our life? And this is all what it is about, this journey, the embodiment journey. For me, is about how you can go deeper and achieve so much more and really unleash your fullest potential through being in touch and being in deeper contact with your body, with your essence. And this is what we are doing in private community as well, in embodiment membership, in embodiment club. There we go even deeper. There you get to have every week's movement neuroshaping practice in free movement expression. This is what we do, so you get to have a practice. Hello everyone, as well as you get to have more personal interaction, where you get to have more personal feedback. So today I am answering general questions, as well as I am sharing my thoughts and experiences from last week or from the lifetime of experience. So as I mentioned last week, I am studying the book by Christine Caldwell, Bodyfulness, and this is the best book on embodiment that I read so far. So I totally recommend it. This is something that you might want to consider reading if you consider your embodiment journey more seriously, in a sense that you really want to go deeper with it. Otherwise, stay with me and I will be sharing the knowledge also through my perspective and with my experience. I will be sharing with you. So yeah, that's just the idea that you might wanna read this book. Yeah, I still recommend it. And actually today I wanna talk about the grace, which is not the concept that is mentioned in the book, but as the result of reading it and rethinking many concepts and qualities that are mentioned there, my thinking process got directed towards the quality of grace. And as I started to research it in my own research, by the way, these are all the things that I am, as a creator of my own methodology. I'm always working on organizing it and really give it more structure. And this will of course result at some point in a book, in a paper. So right now I am writing pretty much every week or every second week. I am writing a blog on my website, so also this is a great source of information if you want to catch up with all the holistic well-being embodiment topics and embodiment itself. Then there are already quite an extended source of information there as well. And of course all the lives on my YouTube channel, this is where you can check it out. But okay, to the topic. So grace is a philosophical term. Very often it's in this context of philosophy, and it might be connected with faith. But I am coming from the point of movement. So for me, grace, where I first heard of it, is in the context of dance. So it is one of the qualities that we expect a great dancer, actually pretty much any dancer, that we expect to have. And then also that when we dance, we want to be graceful. But this goes much deeper, and this goes beyond just dance. It goes, first of all, to every type of movement. So you can easily recognize there is certain type of lightness, of ease, of what are the words that are used here as well for grace? Flow, connection, alignment, and so many more words. I will be going with them because I want to refer to four researchers and scientists in different fields that referred to grace, not only dancers, but also Alexander Lowen and Moshe Feldenkrais, Rudolf Laban, who was a dancer choreographer, as well as Iyengar, who was a yoga teacher. So we will dive into the perspective on grace through lenses of 4 other people, as well as I will add on my perspective. There is a question: what has changed in your life because of grace? As I mentioned, I got in touch with this term through dance, and I have been dancing since I was 5 years old. But I think the grace itself, I was more connected with it, especially when I started to do ballet. And for me, especially it came through the movement. So my whole spiritual journey, my whole the healing journey, and what I am sharing right now, it all came through body. It all came through dance first. Then it was yoga, and then also I practiced Feldenkrais, I practiced Alexander technique, body-mind centering, just to mention the few most important, most impactful ones. And also different type of dance. So for me, first it was associated with dance, and especially in ballet, and I was taught by teachers from Russian school. So much paying attention to detail on the head placement, or like always looking at the hands, always looking the right direction, and this is changing so much, these details. So for me, grace came with this, gave me the ease, the feeling of lightness and ease specifically, and the flow, and that comes from a proper alignment, because in order to achieve it, of course, you need to put a lot of work. So grace also gave me discipline. I mean, discipline gave me grace, but on the other hand, once I realized that this is what I can achieve through discipline, I can achieve grace, this is what is giving me a base for keeping myself in the state of grace, which is a movement quality, and body quality, physical body quality, but it goes to the spiritual quality, and it is everything that is connected with the alignment, and it requires a deep state of presence. This is another quality of grace. So let me read here a short this is also a deep embodiment. This is really bodyfulness at its essence. So if you are in grace, if your body is graceful, if your movements are graceful, and this is being achieved, as I mentioned, for me in dance through a lot of practice, but you can also notice this in any type of skill, I would mention I would mention surfers, especially I can see it like when they just slide on the board, when they catch the wave, or I mean any sport, you can very much see it on the very high level, like Olympics, even the footballers, or of course like my favorite, like rhythmic gymnastics or gymnasts, especially because that's very much part of the sport itself, or the figure skating, but pretty much any sport, even if it's like purely about the athleticism and maybe it's purely about the speed, but in order to really achieve faster speed, or to achieve to be stronger, to be faster, whatever the competition, whatever the discipline of your sport requires, you need the grace, you need this ease, and you need the coherence, the integrity within the body. So that's a lot about this. If it comes to movement quality, that's about the integrity, about the coordination, about the right coordination. So you can see it obviously in yoga movements, and especially more in vinyasa, in practices in styles like vinyasa, where it goes more towards kind of choreographic vibe, where you have connections, transitions, grace. This is what is in dance, but this is what makes grace in the movement practice, is how are the transitions happening. So that very much refers to life, and you can really see how you transition. So how you when you transition in the movement, is that this mastery that can happen in life, that can mirror itself in life. So you can practice. This is what movement neuroshaping is about, and how it is reflecting your life's quality. So through practicing the transitions, the graceful transitions in the movement, and it doesn't matter what type of movement it is, it can be in yoga, it can be in dance itself, but it can be even if you run, even if you walk, then this integration of the whole system and the coherence of your movement or within the body, but then it goes deeper, it goes farther on how you relate to the space, and how you communicate with the space. And when this is happening gracefully on a physical level, then it goes also on the mind level and spiritual level. So this is one of the examples of how movement quality translates to upgrading your life's quality in any area. Hello everyone who are joining. If you have more questions, then I am happy to answer more of your questions, and otherwise I will be following here with my notes. And I want to read one paragraph. Grace in the context of movement and its connection to the quality of life is a profound concept that blends physical, emotional, and psychological harmony. Harmony is another very important word if it comes to grace. It is often associated with ease, fluidity, and presence in both movement and being. So this is nicely written paragraph about all the concepts and all the qualities that I just mentioned are important, that are relevant if it comes to grace. And now let me see and let me tell you, because I find it fascinating and very interesting, on what other researchers have to say about grace. So let's start from Alexander Lowen, and he's a pioneering psychotherapist and the founder of bioenergetics, and he deeply explored the connection between the body and emotions. His work emphasized that grace in movement reflects a state of inner emotional balance and embodied presence. Some of his key insights include: graceful movement emerges when the body is free from chronic muscular tension. So yeah, he very much emphasizes the tension, how it is stored in the body, and then how the resistance is actually creating the tension. So he especially reflects on how suppressing certain emotions or certain frequencies is influencing our life's quality and how it is influencing our frequency. So he also says emotional suppression, fear, shame, anger manifests in bodily rigidity, restricting movement and expression. A person who is grounded, connected to their breath, and emotionally expressive moves with natural elegance. Elegance, that's like what we sometimes say, right? That somebody is elegant. So grace, I also say, and I also see as elegance as somebody who is elegant with the gesture, with the movements, with the posture. That's is everything. Grace is really everything, and it just catches, it's like one word that is catching the essence of everything that I am teaching in movement neuroshaping, in free movement expression, and all these best qualities that we can beautifully shape through conscious movement and upgrade our life's quality. Grace is not just physical but energetic quality tied to one's ability to flow with life's experiences. And he wrote the book The Spirituality of the Body, Bioenergetics for Grace and Harmony. So definitely check Alexander Lowen if you wanna know more. He also researched exactly the type of postures, why certain tension points are where they are in the body, and then how to release them. So this is fascinating study. Let's go to the next person, and this is Moshe Feldenkrais, and he created his own methodology, Feldenkrais methodology, which is focused on awareness through movement. And Moshe Feldenkrais developed a movement practice that enhances grace and ease through somatic awareness. His work emphasizes that graceful movement is a result of efficiency, reduced effort, and refined nervous system coordination. Habitual movement patterns can create stiffness and restrict fluidity. By refining movement patterns and increasing body awareness, one achieves effortless grace in everyday action. And this is ultimately what we want. This is what I'm always saying. Ultimately, you don't need to do a dedicated practice to anything, because if we would be using our bodies functionally, in a functional way, day by day, just by walking, just by climbing some stairs, just maybe climbing the tree to get the fruit that you want, or just really if we would live more aligned with the nature. And this is if you continue to do this, if you change your life, if you live more in alignment with the nature, and you get a chance to even sit on the floor. This is still very much present in the Eastern cultures, especially in India. In India, I know that's very much present in day-to-day life, and you see a lot of people sitting on the floor, on the ground. This is already giving much more possibilities to achieve mobility, to keep the mobility in the hip area, and also engaging the core, the spine, because when you are on the chair, then it's a lot of the people just collapse, and this causes a lot of issues in a long term if you sit too much on a chair. So yeah, ultimately, because we get disconnected from the nature, we get disconnected from active natural type of lifestyle that we are designed to have, with a lot of position changes and different organic muscle activation. That's why we need to do dedicated practices. But ultimately, if you incorporate everything in your day-to-day life, then you don't need to do a practice anymore. And this is the purpose. So we do only the practice to be able to enjoy our lives more, and to be able to just do things that we want naturally. So yeah, also I recommend this experience of Feldenkrais technique. There are so many beautiful tools, and I totally recommend you to challenge yourself and to give yourself these opportunities to experience your body in so many different beautiful ways, because this will be enriching for your lifetime experience and will be absolutely enriching for your life's quality. And the next one I want to talk about is Rudolf Laban. He's a movement theorist and choreographer, explored expressive movement and how it reflects one's internal state. He categorized movement into effort, space, time, and flow, suggesting that graceful movement is a harmony of these elements, creating a sense of flow. Inhabiting natural movement leads to emotional repression and disconnect from one's authentic self. By cultivating expressive, unrestricted movement, one can embody a more graceful and fulfilling life. He also developed, I don't know if it's the first one, but he was very much known for developing the notion of movement, which is extremely difficult task. I was studying this a little bit I had a course that touched on Laban's notions, and then also we were studying the concept of notion of movement, and it's really not an easy task. So thanks God for the recordings that we get to record these days, the movement, because this is so far the best medium to share the choreography, so especially for professional dancers, but also for the people who dance and want to be connected more with the choreography. That's something that definitely you want to use probably. Before, with the notion, I used to write down just the words. I mean, in ballet there are names of the steps so that you can more easily at least know the order of the exercises, but then there are so many details that you have to know how to perform. In contemporary dance that was always more difficult because the creativity of the choreographers and teachers were just open, so there was no possible notion of how to really write it down. We had to just remember and maybe just have small notes like, okay, put the head to the right and then look back and then start the movement with your right arm, and this is the mastery where you go into more and more details. So of course with time, dancers and trained athletes, you would have this amazing body memory that you can use, and that you can just with more ease every year, every month, every week, you can just go into with more ease, and that you can get to be connected with your archive, your body archive, and the cell memory and the body memory, and that you can access the movements. Interesting thing is also that once you are with one teacher, and this would be pretty much with any practice like also yoga, where a teacher has always teaches their own flow. This you can easily notice the style of a teacher that's very much present in the dance. So actually all within the time when you continue to be with one teacher, then you start to know the patterns, and that you can more easily know with more certainty what step probably will be after one, like what's next step will be after the one step, but this is also, you need to be careful because that might switch off your attention, and in order to really be embodied these practices and bodyful, you need to always be in attention and concentration. So let me go to the last person that I want to mention what they had to say about grace, and it's BKS Iyengar, Grace in Yoga and Life. And he's a master of yoga and alignment, viewed grace as a reflection of balance, precision, and inner harmony. His teachings emphasize that proper alignment and breath awareness cultivate effortless grace in movement. Grace extends beyond movement, how we carry ourselves in life, our thoughts, and our emotions. Yoga helps integrate the mind, body, and spirit, fostering a graceful approach to challenges. So here he emphasizes the alignment, proper alignment, and breath awareness. And breath is extremely important, and actually I want to do another live just on breath. This is what I'm going to do next week, I think, because basically every single quality that I am talking here about deserves its own life, deserves its own chapter on the book, or maybe even the whole book. So I am myself sometimes really like I need to stop and just dedicate a moment to be impressed on how this topic is amazingly vast and deep, and it's just like infinite qualities and infinite details that you can see and that you can experience. Because afterwards, we have the talk, because I also find it entertaining, and I think it's very important to have this talk and to have possibility to answer questions, but ultimately it's about pure experience. And to sum up all the things, all the qualities, because for some of you who are not used to it, who hear these things for the first time, it might feel like, oh my god, it's too much, how I am supposed to really deal with all of these things in the same time, because then in the end the mastery is that we have to be aware of all these things in the same time. But it's always like with every new skill, in the beginning everything feels overwhelming, but then you're gonna create the habits, and these are the habits that you want, because you don't want to be losing your conscious energy, your consciousness, that the capacity of it is limited. So you want to be creating conscious habits that are serving you, that you don't have to think about certain things anymore. So for example, even the breathing patterns, you might find yourself that when you exercise new movement, you would stay without breathing. This very much happened in dance classes for us. I would find myself like I had to also really work on it, because in ballet exercise, in whatever, in contemporary dance, the choreography, the combination would be so demanding, and I would need to really focus on what's the next step, and I would find myself not breathing through the whole exercise, and then finding myself exhausted after all. So this is very important that in whatever movement practice, if you run, you need to always be having your conscious breathing pattern that is serving you. Also, one tip, for example, that I just thought of. For example, when you go to a massage, breathe consciously, breathe deeply. It's not every massage therapist that would tell you this, at least from my experience. But once I went through my training, that was the basic of the whole experience on how to make it really more effective for the person. So really always breathe. This is a connector for everything, and this is life. No? So about the breath I will talk next time, but this is also very much an ingredient for a more graceful body, for more graceful movement. Let me see what I have here more. Let me read the final paragraph here that will beautifully wrap up the whole thing, the whole topic that I was talking about today. So, Grace in movement is more than physical. It is a state of energetic coherence, emotional freedom, and deep presence. A graceful person moves not just with elegance, but with a sense of wholeness, confidence, and openness to life. By refining our movement through somatic awareness, we cultivate a more authentic, vibrant, and harmonious existence. So there is so much more to it. Also here I had few more people that were doing the research on grace. Also then I was inspired to connect this with Maurice Merleau-Ponty, who is a philosopher, and the research on flow state. Also Peter Levine with trauma and somatic experiencing. So these are a few more ideas where you can research. Also, if you have more specific interest in me going deeper on one of the specific topics here, then please let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I thank you so much for joining today. It's such a pleasure to share this knowledge with you and to contribute to your life's quality. And if you need some more specific help, I'm here offering one-on-one coaching, embodiment coaching, where you will have a chance to work with me individually, where I can focus on you and give you a specific feedback. And also, don't hesitate to join Embodiment Club, where there is a beautiful community where you exercise these qualities, where you practice, where you have Q&As and literature and all these beautiful things to make your life more creative, more beautiful, and somatically stress-free. Thank you for your comments. Thank you, Sneha, for being here. Greetings to India. Thank you for everyone who joined. Yes, sending you love and peace and light and all the sun from here. It was raining in the morning, but now it gets beautiful again. So I will go to continue my day and do more practice on the beach, get to more connected with the nature, with the ocean, and I wish you do the same, especially if you are already in your afternoon. If you're evening, go get a walk and observe the grace of the animals, observe the grace of the nature, because in this in this natural wild state you can really experience this and you can really get inspired. So if you have your dog, like, see how it's playing, see how it's running, with cats, whatever you have, your pet, see this with children, with small kids. That's very visible how they really play. Okay, so I leave you here with a lot of inspiration, and I see you next time. Bye bye.